Know what I'm saying? Out here, getting some good old exercise, good old nice walk, good old breeze. Make sure y'all like, share, follow, and subscribe. And most definitely get in that chat, man, so we can chop up and see what's on your mind and see what you got going on, so we can see how the Most High can actually resolve your issues if you have some issue. And if you don't have no issue and everything bizarre that you got going on in your life, blessings to you. But yo, man, it's just a lot of stuff, man. Just a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? This channel is about exposing the truth. I am the truth teller. You know what I'm saying? The gift from the Most High. Shouts out to the spiritual team as well. We're grateful for the spiritual team from the light and the dark. The first thing I want to say about that is that, growing up, we had gotten this indication, two things. One, that a lot of our relatives and friends didn't really know the truth because they didn't see the truth. And those who did also know the truth actually chose and choose not to tell the truth of the truth. And I know you're saying, like, what do you mean? What I mean is, when we're talking about the light and dark, we're talking about how the dark really is not dark as far as a negative thing, whether we talking about demons or any negative situation, because those situations transition to positive circumstances and situations where people have testimonies, for example. Or you see the appearance of someone that used to be in a situation, no longer in a situation. Welcome to the broadcast, y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your guy, Olabade Olugbsean. Apologize for the noise in the background, but you already know. Getting this exercise in along with the Most High delivering this message. We're grateful for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Through the good, through the bad. Bad ain't really the bad, but being able to give us strength and perseverance and resilience that another man can't give, that a man tried to make you seem that he or she can give you this type of power that they can't give you, because power comes from the Most High. Now, last but least, these messages are going to resonate for certain people, and the message is not going to resonate for certain people. And then it may resonate later on in your life, or it may resonate for somebody that actually going to go through something or is going through something. So don't ever think this channel is not for you. It's for the ugly, it's for the weak, it's for the strong, it's for the haters. Because the haters got to learn something too. You know why the haters got to learn something? Because the haters ain't learning nothing. You feel me? How do we know haters not learning nothing? Because look at their life. They pretend that they got it going on. They pretend that all is well. But in crunch time, which is always, you'll find haters that will actually expose his or her hand, along with the friends that they call friends, or end up telling their business. But back to what I was saying about the dark and the light. We have gotten this indication that dark spirits and people who doing dark is a bad thing. Where if we channel it and look at it in a positive manner, we can look at gratitude, how we should be grateful, or is grateful, or are grateful that we're actually being able to see somebody else make these mistakes, so therefore we won't make the mistake. You see what I'm saying? Now check this out. We also got some story to tell too, if we choose to tell them, because people are ashamed about what people think about their story, how they're going to look at them. But you got to realize, when you tell your story to someone about whatever it may be, it may be your friend, relative, it may be a stranger, you got to remember they got a story as well that has similarity, or if not worse. So you got to get out your comfort zone where that. Now, I'm not looking at the screen like that. Don't think I'm not paying y'all any attention. Welcome to the broadcast. Peace and blessings. You feel me? To everybody. No kisses to men, okay? I want you to be like, damn, he blew me a kiss. He must be gay. No, I'm not gay. But check it out. You got to understand, I got to pay attention where I'm walking. That's why I said that. So you got to understand that it's very important to express yourself. You've been, as a child, been hindered from expressing yourself, whether it be your mother, father, any relative. We're not going to name all the list of relatives and stuff like that. We're not going to do that. We'll make it short and simple. Trust me, this broadcast is most definitely spicy. I'm going to teach you something that you either already know, or it's going to be an extension of something that you will know or already know. I don't waste nobody's time, so trust that. Any and everything that I say is very important, because the goal is to evolve. The goal is transform. The goal is to be resilient. The goal is I can, not I won't. I can't. We don't do none of those over here. You feel me? We're fish over here. I want y'all to understand this. Life is not about the perspective about what other people think that you should have and not have to be who you've been chosen to be, because in all actuality, and I've said this parable or pattern, we can use it, or philosophy prefer to be said, that all the billions of sperm that have been ejected from your father, you the one that made it. So you may have some people now or later or at some point in time, and I've been there, thinking that you're unworthy, you're worthless, you don't deserve. You deserve any and everything if you're willing to do the work. Not only you can talk about it, you got to be about it. You know what I'm saying? I even talked about influence last time, or one of my segments. You got to understand that influencer is someone who can be a positive or a negative influence. Because somebody tell you that influence doesn't mean they're positive. You have to pay attention to what he or she is saying and the importance of what they're actually presenting to you, how it can help you maneuver in your life. Man, listen, the grace of the Most High. I don't say God, not saying it can't happen, but God is plural, and people don't know what God really stands for. So you want to say the Most High. We're talking about the highest or the creator, the highest being of all beings in the universe, because it's important that you actually channel the right energy, okay? So anyway, going back to the light and dark. So, and I'm going to get into some of the things that I've observed today, situations. Shouts out to the YouTubers, the good and the bad, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that, because a lot of time people have this impression that if a person have a bunch of followers, that they are either chosen, they blessed by the Most High, and that is just not the case. I'm going to simmer it down just to that. I could go even on and on and on from that, but I'm going to make it simple. So people can see a 1-2 punch versus like, damn, I got so many things to pick from, I heard, and I don't even know which one is which. All of it's the same. I want you guys to understand and be like, man, you only saying that because you a hater. No, I'm not hating. I'm here to expose. That's my job. I've been doing this since a kid. A lot of people in the high places know who I am. It's just y'all time to get to know who I am. You got to take time to know who I am. I give you the book to judge. If you want to book the judge, just stay tuned. Tap that follow button, tap that subscribe button. You see what I'm saying? I give you an opportunity to have the opportunity to be like questioning what you judge, if it goes in a negative way. But for me, it's a positive way, because I always, importantly to say that people end up understanding like, dang, I was wrong about that person. Look, whatever person think, that could be 1,000 things. I don't know what's on his or her mind, but what I do know, I'm consistent. Even if you haven't seen me do my lives and stuff like that, I'm consistent. And consistency meaning I'm consistent delivering the message that need to be delivered on the time of divine timing, not earthly timing, but divine timing. So let me ask y'all this question. How many of you guys know if yourself or others believe there's a real time? Now, it sounds like something corny, but it's not. It's very important. Where did we get time from? We got time from the Dogon tribe. That's one of the people. They really the main people that actually was being able to tell you the time, tell you the zodiacs, things like that, more on the spiritual level, spirituality. People think that religion actually has truth. And it sounds very good. Man did a great job doing what they needed to do to convince others to follow them. But here's the truth. The truth is, those want you to follow them. They not have helped you in any form or fashion. All they have given you nothing but headaches, burdens, traumas, death to many things, whether it's the physical body or the form of giving up, the form of being hateful to yourself and hateful to others. This is what religion has, principle has taught people who actually have participated. And I was one of those individuals who had participated. You found people that was in the church that was unloving. They wasn't caring. They were picking other people over other people. They saw you in circumstances, even some of them people put you in those circumstances that you will never be aware of, wondering why you went through certain things and wondering why you didn't get certain things that you felt that you deserved. Man, this thing here sounds so discombobulated only because it's never been heard of. It's never been exposed. These people been doing this stuff for over 700 something years, manipulating generation after generation, culture after culture, race after race. Now, some people feel like that they haven't been manipulated, and you know, at the end of the day, this is a very dangerous job that I'm doing, because you have people who are going to go against what I'm saying because this is not what they grew up to hear, which is the truth. They grew up to hear lies. You know what I mean? So by people hearing lies, it has allowed them to actually focus on lies being the truth and the truth being a lie. But in all actuality, while the lie has been exposed or presented, people still see no results. But in truth, you see results. And again, you got to dig deep. It's like the rabbit hole. There's a pattern / parable that says, how far do the rabbit hole go? Most people don't know. The rabbit hole goes infinite. Why? Because rabbits can make numerous of holes that's limitlessly actually forbidding to be hindered. So our life is the same way. You know what I mean? When it comes down to wisdom, knowledge, information, outcomes, situations. You know, we was taught to be on this earth and work and have a little nice car and a family and a house and party, do things we shouldn't be doing or overdo those things. I mean, we still got to do them so we can learn from them naturally. Some of us don't know some of the things we have said or done has affected other people's lives, and that's where you got to go in and ask the Most High to forgive you for those things so you can actually be able to actually not deal with karma, is one of the words that we use, or, you know, bad luck and etc. However, it's very important to understand that you have to pay attention to whoever you're paying attention to, regardless of how much time you're willing to give up your time to the male or female who's presenting themselves, because you have people who are falsely pretending that they'll follow the Most High, but they ain't got a story to tell. They got a story to tell you something that's going to benefit them instead of benefit the Most High. See, me, I do this because I work for the Most High. As you can see, I just got back on YouTube, so my followers are not high. You know what I'm saying? I don't question why they're high or low. You know, you have some people, they got things going on in their life. It could be finances, it could be health, it could be mental health, it can be stress, it could be anything. You know what I mean? But, you know, the opportunity of this platform is available for any race. I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in discrimination. It's man-made definition, man-made circumstances to create division and to trick people to make them think that they're willing to actually substitute any situation that is going to be publicly known at some point that they got individuals or cultures or race back to actually keep the heat off of them. Just think about it. For example, you have brutality that happens all the time. And if they didn't have certain things in place to let one out of, God, the percentage is so low. We can use melanin, AKA black people, or even white people. There's a small percentage, is the word I'm gonna use, that white people and black people will get compensated for brutality from anything that's based off of law, anything based off of job, anything based off of any type of insurance, meaning you're going to get the bare minimum or you're going to get nothing. However, if there's a certain status of those two races, or that really, them not a race, that's a color that doesn't exist for either party because they're not even that color. That's just an illusion. You'll be able to identify people by what you see, which is truth. Some melanin people, brown-skinned, light-skinned, yellow. You know, some are really dark-skinned. It's not many, but the point is you'll be able to identify people. You got some white people who are actually white. Some are actually red and white. And what other color I've seen? There's one lady I saw yesterday. She said she's peach. Yeah, she says she's Peach. Optimus Prime. Yeah, tell a lie to your vision. Absolutely. Tell a lie to your vision. You know what? Let me tell you something. I'm going to speak for everybody. Even though a lot of people are speaking up and a lot of people have not spoken up, we are tired of the shenanigans, all right? And all the officials, all the countries around the world know this. This is why they have their meeting, which is called the United Nations, along with other meetings. Let me throw a bone in there for y'all. When I say throw a bone, meaning let me throw a bone so you can hear some truth. You have all these countries who promote tell a lie vision, fake news, fake articles, and all of this. And I'm not saying none of these people actually die, because there are people dying. And the reason why these people are dying, because there are other people's children. They're not their children. You don't see them putting their children on the front line to fight some illusion of war. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying there ain't no real beef, but what I'm telling you is it's not a real beef enough where you got all the so-called, they call themselves leaders of the world, that actually meet across the world or around the world or go from country to country and say they're beefing, but they're actually sitting down eating dinner and drinking champagne, wine, and all this stuff, and laughing and gee ha ha, and laughing at the masses of people, because the masses of people are sitting here paying attention to the foolery, you know what I'm saying, the shenanigans, thinking that these people really got to be, oh, I'm going to press my nuclear bomb. What is you waiting on? What is they waiting on? You know why they can't press it? Because they not the Most High. The Most High control all of this. They say, well, why do the Most High allow these things to happen? The Most High actually allows you to actually pick a side. I'm going to make it simple. What side you picking? You picking the Most High, or you picking man? Man is about destruction. It's about no help. We can go back to the 1900, 18, 17, 16, 13, 14. It don't matter. We can use 2000. Man is not about helping humanity. Per se, well, yeah, they are. They actually do charities and they do all these different events. They feed the sick. You're not there to witness none of that. They say, well, you're not it. You're not either. How do you know how I know? How I know? The proof that they're not helping? Because they've been doing it over 40, 50 years. Not only they've been doing it over 40, 50 years, you don't even see the results of the health of the individual that they're helping, that they're just taking a video camera, putting it on children that are actually truly impoverished. And I'm not saying some of these people don't have a good heart, because some of them do, but they got to blend in with the wicked, because the wicked ain't going to let them expand like they really want to. And when my messages are spoken, they're spoken in general. So if a person fit the shoe, tie your shoestrings and wear them. Because all of that rebuttaling, saying, oh, you're saying everybody. No, I always have in general messages, always general. If you fit that shoe tied up, nobody got to know but you. Only you know it. Sometimes you got to look down at your feet and realize that you need it tied up. That's like any situation, being narcissistic or a liar or a manipulator or deceiver. People try to act like they're not none of that. Man, wear that. Let people see who you truly are. They'll respect you more. You may not have a lot of people that deal with you, but you will, because there's many people in the world that are manipulative and so forth, so on, or that's negative. So you got plenty of them people that will join you and y'all can do what y'all do. But I'm telling you, all the people who are innocent and not on that type of time, you may not think you're going to pay for your consequences for doing certain things to people. Rather, they know that you did it, or they found out by actually being burdened by it, and then they have to cry, or they have to feel depressed or have some type of doubt. I promise you, the Most High gonna make you pay for it. You know what I mean? Any and everything that I have spoken about has been talking about light and dark. Light and dark. Let me tell you something about the dark. You got a lot of people who do dark stuff, right? Rather it's spiritual work, spell work, manifesting, sex magic, slander, gossip, manipulation, deception, plotting, murder for hire, murder. Those things end up turning in a positive way, because it comes back fold, threefold or more to the individuals even if it doesn't hit the individual, I gotta understand that it hit people around them. You know what I'm saying? It hit people around them. Like this young lady, I'll give you a quick story. You know, she hadn't been talking for a while, but I remember sometime this year I had did some work for a dad, and he decided not to pay me. So I had to make sure that I allow my carnal nature, which is flesh, actually wish something upon this man, but I had to forgive him. And I did. And, you know, he was wrong and he didn't forget. You know what I mean? That's just like saying that I was invisible and I did the work. I deserved to have gotten paid. I didn't. I moved on. I was in a financial situation that would made me actually do that for him, to actually take care of financial situation, which the Most High end up taking care of like always. And people be wondering why I talk about the Most High so much, because every situation I've been in, the Most High been the one to actually help me get out the situation or fix the situation. And you find man, for those who fit the category, woman, man, relatives, friends, associates, acquaintances, they can see me in a situation, or they can, what is the word, be nosy and find out information that they may think or thought that I wasn't aware of, knowing that I'm in and not offer any help, or send someone in to create some type of problem that I've had in the past. Along with, I ain't confused about none of that anymore, because now I understand the plot. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of work that had to be done to understand this, to get to where I'm at right now. You know, most people may look at me like, dang, he don't have no problems. I'm a problem solver. You don't got none either. Problems in the midst of something that's happening right then and there. It's not in the midst of a thought, or it's not in the midst of something that's presented itself, like a bill, for example. You got a bill that need to be paid. Well, it's not a problem because you can solve it. If you take time to do something positive along solving that problem, you don't have to worry about no karma coming back to you. But if you're looking for a shortcut, then yeah, you got a problem. And a lot of times people feel, for those who've been out there doing a lot of wicked stuff for a very long time, you can look at Diddy, you can look at all kinds of people who've been getting, people who've been getting killed, or people who've been catching disease, or all of a sudden they're in a financial bind, or all of a sudden they lose a good person in a relationship, or the resources, whatever, is that they end up suffering, or other people around them end up suffering because of their action. You know, people got to realize that what I just stated, meaning your blood is connected to everybody that you deal with. So when you think you're getting away with something, you're not. That's what I mean by that. That's why it's called bloodline, relatives. This stuff you're not going to learn in the church in depth like I'm teaching it. You're not going to learn on many platforms, because they don't have the wisdom that comes from the Most High. They just have things that they read out of books, and people they out here copycatting. They call it copy and paste. But you know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. They doing their job. Their job is to manipulate the masses of people so people can figure out what side they picking. That's the game. That's the game. Here you go. Want to know what the game is? The game is the masses of people is to pick a side. And a lot of people who be picking the wrong side end up losing. You got to think about it, right? I'm going to use the gangbangers, for example. You got a bunch of gangs out here, right? They're throwing up a lot of signs, whatever that stuff's supposed to mean. A lot of them can't read. A lot of them can't write. A lot of them can't write a checkbook. A lot of them don't know how to pay bills. A lot of them ain't never had their own place. A lot of them don't know how to take care of their children. They don't know how to provide for a family. They don't know nothing about stability within themselves, so they can give stability outside of themselves. And what I'm saying to say is they're easily influenced, and not only that, misled. You would think the individuals will actually be protecting the community versus destroying the community. So they brag about how they go kill an innocent person, but then the corrupt people who actually, I'm not condoning this either, but I'm using this as an example, allegedly, okay, is that the people who out here really harming people, they scared of them people. They don't even look their way. So they're out here destroying the communities along with the corrupted people. The corrupted people are manipulating masses of parents and their children. One way is to make sure the parent actually doesn't discipline their child enough to go in the right way versus going astray. The second thing is you can just let me have your child by incarceration or military or gang violence or a person out here just breaking the law, or officer of the court where you break the law but you is an officer of the court. I'm going to put you around people who are very persuasive and manipulative, and they're going to get away with it because we got our hands on the puppet master / puppet. Now, when I said that, there's puppet masters that dominate other puppet masters, and then they dominate the puppets. So the original puppet master, all the other puppet master, but they're actually puppets because they do whatever the puppet master said, and if not, they can lose their family, they can lose their own life, the family can lose their life, they can lose their finances because those things are important to them. People been taught how to be used and manipulated when none of this shit don't mean shit, because you can die any second. And then what you gonna tell the Most High? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, it was them. You can't die, man. That's the problem. Fear. Not wanting to learn the truth. That's the two problems that masses of people have. Not wanting to know the truth and fear. We can't die. If that was the case, then I wouldn't even be here. That means all those millions, billions, trillions of ancestors who have came to this earth to try to do what I'm doing now, which I was called to do, are still living in me, in my body. Now, most people's like, man, that's weird, man. You kind of threw me off with that one. How is it that your ancestors are living in you? They're living in me because I came through them to be here on the presence of today and many other days that I came before this day, if that make any sense. What's my YouTube? You talking about sell bikes? I don't sell bikes and I don't sell weed. I don't condone in helping corruptive people have unorganized or publicly seen to be organized system that telling the mass of people that they protect them. They protect you. You see people get killed, stabbed, and people going out with food, and people sleeping outside, and the vets go out there in the past and fought this war so they can take oil and gold and land and drugs from other company they call drugs and distribute it all over the world. And yeah, all right. I ain't wasting my time helping them do nothing. I don't fuck with them. They know that. So anything that I do, they're gonna make it seem that I don't know what I'm talking about. Rather do spell work, smear campaigns, send somebody in to get information, or send somebody in hoping they'll take me off my course with the Most High, but that ain't gonna happen either, because the Most High is watching them. Listen, man, ain't nobody can beat the Most High. Ain't nobody proved it. You know what I'm saying? Even they gonna pretend that they know the Most High, but the reality is, if they knew the Most High, then they'd be kind and loving. I'm gonna simplify it like that. I ain't even gotta go into other words. I can, but I'm not. So there's so many limitless actions that have shown these people don't give a damn about you or your kids or your grandmother, grandfather, and none of their sicknesses that they be putting in their body. Like, yeah, you need to take this medicine. This medicine is going to temporary do nothing. When you have the ability in your mind to heal yourself, it's going to teach you to be ignorant is what they're saying. And many people are ignorant. They've been dumbed down. And it's up to you to reprogram yourself by taking time out to accept the truth and seek the truth and read and get around people who telling you the truth. That's your only way out of this. I can't save you. I could tell you how you could start to save yourself, but I can't save you. People waiting on Jesus to save them. Jesus ain't come and save nobody. You talking about 2,000 years ago that Jesus sacrificed on the cross. You don't have no tombstone of Jesus, Joseph, John, Matthew, none of these individuals. But then at the same time, you have tombstones of other carnations that's been on this planet that you speak highly about, and that you fool the masses of people so they can stay under your control. Because religion plays a very political, powerful position in this game that's being played. And people have this spirit within themselves to believe in something. So with that stronghold that's put on people, it allows them to actually make a decision. You got a lot of people who don't believe in nothing at all. They don't believe. And it's my high boss. I'm not anyone's boss. You know, a boss is a term of you. I'm your slave master. You know, that's what economy stands for. It stands for slavery. Economics, rather to say. People don't know that, but that's what it is. But they don't have a problem telling you because it's written in books, it's written in audio, and it's also promoted worldwide, and especially in colleges, because there's a lot of stuff in colleges they don't teach in high school. A lot of books they don't show you, a lot of information. And so there's a lot of students that know about this stuff, but they ain't gonna go outside the school and tell other people because they know they're gonna get punished, or they fear that they will. So, you know, God, the Most High gonna punish them for not telling people. Excuse me. If the Most High tell you to tell somebody something, you don't do it, you're in a world of trouble. Trust me, I know. I done did it plenty of times in the past. I refuse to do it. That's why you see me here today doing my job. It's not about if somebody decide to watch. You know, it's not about if someone decide to subscribe. It's not about somebody decide to share or like. You know what I'm saying? I understand that people like paying attention to the wrong thing, or people not in sync, or people got some stuff going on they need to clear from their mind. So it's understood. Reaching one is better reaching none. It's impossible for someone not to get what I'm talking about. So it most definitely things that I don't know. Yeah, most definitely purifying the heart is most definitely important. You have to fix your heart in order to vibrate in the frequency of anything that you truly want to manifest that's positive. The only reason we hit and miss because our frequency don't be right, along with our heart don't be right, and our emotions and thoughts. So that's something that we have to master by studying words and studying the proper way how to feel, and not having resentment. We most definitely got to heal in order to really attract the things that you really desire. And the things that you desire, you most definitely have to be accountable and responsible and ready for those things you desire, whatever that may be. And if you find people in your life that you're around that actually are not a part of what you actually striving for in a positive manner, you have to cut them off. You can't keep saying, well, I like this thing about them and I like that and I really don't want to let them go. You're going to have to let them go, or you're just going to be stuck. Trust me. How do I know? Because I had to do the same thing. I am free as a bird. I am super free, you know what I'm saying? So when I meet new people and stuff like that, and they have the same energy as the people in the past, whether it's a relationship, business, whether it's a job, whether it's some type of opportunity, a conversation, I know how to make that decision and get out the way. So I'm very grateful for that. And so I like to share that with you guys. So therefore, I'm helping you actually to a degree where you don't have to do a lot of work, but you got to do some type of work in order for you to get the things you have. Can't keep letting people tell you what you deserve and what you don't deserve, because hell, they don't know what they deserve. Look at their life. You ever see somebody who be telling people about a marriage but they ain't never been married, or you see somebody telling somebody about a relationship but they not in a relationship but they telling you to get out of a relationship? Yeah, you got to pay attention. You can't save everybody. It's up to everybody to save themselves, fortunately. I smile and I speak to a lot of people, but a lot of people don't speak back, and they don't, and a lot of smiles do not return to me, but that doesn't stop me from speaking and smiling. So that's why I'm chosen. That's why the chosen is chosen, because we learn to understand that we don't allow things outside of us to reflect how we should feel or how we should react. Now, people can press the button enough to the point where we have to get hood and women get bougie and all this other stuff, but then at the same time, people want to trigger you. They be sent by the adversary, aka enemy, to actually trigger you and say, see, I told you ain't nothing changed, but you changed, because if you didn't change, you would still be doing the same thing. You don't have to be a chosen seed. You can be a collector. You're going to be a person who just now getting on the earth and you just learning things, so forth, so on. So it doesn't mean you're exempt. The only way you're exempt is by going the opposite way. No one's exempt. It doesn't matter race. The Most High don't look at race. If that were the case, He never created the diversity that is here. The only person that care about race is racist people of many races. They're the only one who care about race, because that would take the power and control that they have over the masses of people to actually not be manipulated anymore. And so therefore, that they will feel powerless. Why you think people who step up to be leaders and stuff like that, they either incarcerate them or they actually put or kill them? Because they want to put fear in other people who have the potential to change the outcome of many people who being manipulated by these manipulators. Everybody caring about no death. Ain't nobody scared of none of that. You know how many times people done try to take my life by sending the spirit of death or sending some type of dark forces, or trying to set up some situation so somebody can shoot me or rob me and all that stuff, and I ain't even involved with none of those events. Or send a woman in so she can set me up to kill me and stuff like that. My last relationship was like that. I seen the things, but I said, Most High, get me out of this, and you don't have to worry about me dealing with that person ever again. And I never dealt with her no more. I haven't talked to that female since 2019. Have no intentions to talking to her. No affiliation at all. We're not doing none of that over there. Over here, there, over left, right, up, down, center, back, forward, doesn't matter. May seem like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. May seem like I'm just jabbing. It may seem like I'm a gift or gap. Ain't none of that. I'm official. Everything that I say hits the mark. And the reason why it hits the mark, because the Most High is the mark, and He doesn't miss. So what I'm saying comes from the Most High. Nothing I'm saying is harmful. Nothing I'm saying is hurtful. Nothing I'm saying is misleading. It's official and it's a fact, and we here to make things accurate. Now, you can choose to be inaccurate because that's what you desire, but I can just tell you, you're going to have complications like a woman having a baby. The women who talk about having a baby said it's very painful. You're going to feel pain, and you're going to be asking the Most High, the one you're supposed to be following from the beginning, to actually help you. The Most High about to listen to you. Even the Most High be talking to people, be like, oh man, I think He is. I don't know if He is or isn't. I think it's just in my head. Now you better start listening. Better start checking in. And I ain't saying better like you better do it. Better just meaning warning. It's best to take heed to warning before destruction. You feel me? Nobody gonna save you, man. I'm telling you. All these people out here that people do not know and people do know, man, trust me, behind the scenes, meaning behind the closed door that nobody see that in their personal life, they are suffering. You know how notice how people suffer when you come out during your day and you see numerous of people, it's like, hey, how you doing? You can even gotta say that. You can put your hand up. How was your day? How their reaction is and their emotions towards what you're saying, just on that simple thing, they're gonna tell a lot. How they drive, how they carrying themselves, mainly. You can look at how they carrying themselves, gonna tell you a lot about that person in that moment. And if you able to get more out of them as far as conversation, you're gonna even see even more exposed. So people can pretend that they're happy, but they're not happy. People can get tatted up, they can put makeup on, men can get their beard, mustache cut, hair cut, you know what I'm saying? They can dress in the finest, nicest clothes. You're gonna know what he is and what she is. She can have them red bottoms, any type of pretty high heels, a certain type of luxury, luxury, and the other lingerie wear. You're gonna know how she really is. Trust me. When situation hit the fan, you're gonna know how he or she really talk to you when things are happening. People feel like when negative things are happening, they have to actually be negative when they can be positive and express themselves, or they can take a time out. And people, I've seen so many people use it. Well, I got an attitude, and okay, the attitude ain't helping you solve nothing. So why won't you just get rid of the attitude and find another way and other ways how to actually express yourself? All you doing is triggering somebody else to react to that attitude, and then that's when chaos happen. Yeah, they do chaos magic, all that stuff. I can put you on to a lot of stuff. Some of you may even try to use it on me just to see if it worked, but I'm not one of the vessels that's gonna work on. It will work on somebody, but I'm not one of those. I'm in my full power. I'm in my full power. I got everything that I need within myself. Anything outside myself is just a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Presence of others, being able to see people enjoy themselves, being able to watch people drive vehicles, whatever that may be. I'm not a jealous person at all or envious person. What people have, I have had or can get. That's facts. It take work to get anything that you want, whether it's relationship, whether it's love from others, love for yourself, followers. Like, YouTube is not an easy thing. Getting on this platform talking to people that you don't know isn't an easy thing, but basically having confidence in yourself allows you to actually feel comfortable in your skin of what allows you to actually do these things, regardless of people tune in, rather people follow you, rather they respond, rather they subscribe, rather they be ugly to you, whatever. The reality is you still got to be you. You still got to be you no matter if you surrounded by a million followers, million friends, associates, whatever, or you got enough money in the world. You still got to figure out how to be you while you alone. You can have somebody in the other room. You can have people around you. If your mind ain't in sync with everybody around you, they can be laughing, but in your mind, you actually thinking about a problem that nobody even actually know, or maybe one of your friends or maybe a few people know, and they trying to, either the situation can be they trying to figure what's going on with you, for those who don't know, or those who actually want to know. And then you got the flip side of that without me actually saying that. Hopefully you guys can actually resonate and comprehend what I just stated. But anywho, I had to get on here and, pop it off. You know what I'm saying? Pop it off for the Most High. Shouts out, salute. You heard? And then, just like this lady right here, I saw her. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday. I spoke to her. She don't like something about me. It could be my skin. But either way it go, she didn't speak. I'm like, how you ladies doing? She looked at me crazy, and then just now she just looked at me. So yeah, my old version of me, I would have got upset. Like, damn, why people act? I may have been self-talking to myself about the actions of other people. Not saying that I don't self-talk and won't self-talk, but what I will tell you is I have figured it out that I don't have to have an attitude. I don't have to let people control my emotions, how I want to respond to what they say and do. Just like the last time that I broadcast, and somebody said something crazy in the chat, but in all actuality, matter of fact, it's in my last episode segment that I did. I spoke about it and left it as that. Everyone has anger, but can you control it? I do pretty well. You know what I'm saying? I like telling what's going on out here. It don't bother me to tell the truth because they can't take nothing from me anyway. Anything they have took it from me, I've regained it back because the Most High give it right back to me tenfold. And I don't go out and promote and say, I don't have to. I don't have to tell them nothing. They already doing their divination. They're using their astrologists and every other tool they can possibly use, witches and warlocks and astral projecting and they doing all kinds of stuff, sending different type of spirits to spy, which is monitoring spirits, and even sending human beings. They say ain't nothing changed. Chosen, baby. We out here. We ain't going nowhere. We went through it from 2020 to 24, even years before that, but 2020 to 24, oh yeah, they put it on us. They made us go through some stuff that I know for a fact that the regular human being could not handle, nor would he or she even want to live anymore. And we don't look like what we've been through. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And I didn't even know they had spells out there like fat spells and skinny spells and Well, they got all kinds of stuff out there I didn't know. But I like to tell y'all about it because you've been told that it's not real. Oh, it's real, but you got the strength to overcome it. That's what's even realer. So yeah, I'm out here standing on the forefront for the Most High. And for those who are following the Most High, that's who I stand for. Anyone who's not rocking with the Most High, excuse my French, I don't fuck with you. I don't care what race you are. You out here doing fucked up shit and you willing not to change, you are a danger to society and yourself. But anyway, peace and blessings. Olabade Olugbsean. Make sure y'all like, share, follow, man. Stay tuned. We up out of here, you heard? You must have said Brody. You never called me no Brody. Cut it out, man. Quit giving these people impression you know me. You don't know me. Tell them something about me. Put it in the chat. You gotta go do your homework first, but you still don't know. I would have been shouting you out like, bro, what's up with you, man? Where you been? That's how you know, man. Cut it out. Y'all play all day. I like it though. It'd be funny to me because only a person who can be easily influenced and deceived will only fall for that. Peace and blessing, man. I'm up out of here. Y'all already know what it is.